I've heard this statement a few times, and I was like, that can relate. That relates to me as well. And I can only talk about myself when it comes time to talk about different situations and experiences and things of that nature. So the topic is and I typed in, and I'm just reading about it, and I'm sharing it because the way I go about researching when I'm curious about something, the way I think might prompt you to think another way. And so that's why I'm sharing. So the title I typed in was Some Reasons Why People Come Up to Hate Themselves. And it says here, people may develop feelings of self-hatred for various reasons. And it's important to recognize that these feelings are complex and often stem from a combination of internal and external factors. Here are some potential reasons why individuals may come up to hate themselves. Negative experiences or traumas, past traumatic experiences, abuse, or significant negative events that have profound impact on the individual's self-esteem and self-worth. Unrealistic standards, setting unrealistic standards for oneself, whether in terms of appearance, achievements, or behavior, can lead to constant feelings of failure and self-loathing. Social comparison. And they always say stop comparing yourself to others. Constantly comparing oneself to others, especially in the age of social media where people often present curated and idealized versions of their lives, can contribute to feelings of inadequacy. Bullying or stigmatization. Being targeted of bullying or facing discrimination can lead to internalization of negative beliefs and contribute to self-hatred. Mental health issues, conditions such as depression, anxiety, and other mental health disorders can distort an individual's self-perception and contribute to self-hatred. Lack of support. Growing up in an environment lacking emotional support, encouragement, or positive reinforcement can impact one's self-esteem. Perceived failures. Constantly feeling like a failure or experiencing a pattern of perceived failures in various aspects of life can contribute to self-hatred. Internalized messages. Absorbing and internalizing negative messages from society, family, cultural influences about one's identities, abilities, or worth can lead to self-hatred. The next one is guilt and shame. Experiencing guilt or shame about past actions or perceived shortcomings can contribute to negative self-perception. Inability to meet. The next one is inability to meet expectations. When individuals feel unable to meet the expectation of others or societal norms, they may develop a sense of worthlessness. And this has me thinking also, when you see people like, there's something wrong with you, you need to go see a therapist. And that, makes the person feel more like, damn, like really worthless. And I don't think, it's just my personal opinion, that that's not a good way to approach people or talk to people. I mean, I know there's various different ways, and I know that's just me, my personal. It's nothing wrong with the way you say or do that, but I wouldn't do it because I know I wouldn't feel good when somebody says something like that to me. Or constantly hearing, whether you hear it in a work environment, where you hear it in everyday life, that's their choice. They just want to be like that. And that's the easy thing to say, instead of digging deep within our own selves, and finding out, is the brain broke? Just like, you have a broken ankle, it can heal, it can fix. So yeah, I don't know. So it says in the end here, it says it's essential for individuals struggling with self-hatred to seek support. Professional help, such as therapy or counseling, can provide a safe space to explore and address the underlying issues contributing to these feelings. And once you realize them and bring it to face, it makes it so much better. Additionally, building a support network of friends and family, practicing self-compassion and challenging negative thought patterns are important steps in fostering a more positive self-image. Overcoming self-hatred is a challenging process that often requires time. The time limit for everybody is different. Reflection and support. Here are some strategies that might help individuals work towards overcoming self-hatred. Of course, number one, seek professional help. But that don't mean you don't do your own homework and research. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend facing similar struggles. Practice self-compassion by acknowledging that everyone makes mistakes and has imperfections. The next one is challenge negative thoughts. Pay attention to negative thoughts about yourself and challenge them. Are they based on facts or distorted perceptions? That's where that, I think, rumination and stuff can play a part as well. Replace negative thoughts with more realistic and positive affirmations. The next one is build a support system. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people who uplift and encourage you. Share your feelings with trusted friends, family, or a support group. Don't feel bad if you say something to the wrong person who's like, oh my God, I spilled the beans, to someone that don't give a flying crap, or someone that's going to spread my business, or someone, they just don't get it. Don't stop trying to find someone that fits your needs or that care for you just because you meet a bad person or two that don't get it or don't care. Set realistic goals. Break down large goals into small, more achievable steps. Small success, and recognize the progress is a process. Focus on the strengths. Identify and focus on your strengths and positive qualities. Forgive yourself. Understand that everyone makes mistakes again. Acknowledge past mistakes, learn from them, and work towards self-forgiveness. Holding on to guilt and shame can contribute to the big factor of self-hatred. It says cultivate self-improvement. Instead of focusing on self-hatred, channel your energy into self-improvement. Set realistic and positive goals. Express your self-creativity. Engage in creative activities that allow you to express your thoughts and emotions. This could include writing, art, music, or other forms of self-expression. I love that. Healthy lifestyle choices. Pay attention to self-care by adopting healthy lifestyle habits such as regular exercise, balanced diet, and sufficient sleep. And then educate yourself. I'm trying. Learn about self-esteem and self-worth. Understanding the psychological aspect of self-hatred can empower you to challenge and change negative thought patterns. Remember that overcoming self-hatred is a gradual process, and it's okay to seek professional help if needed. Developing a positive and compassionate relationship with oneself takes time and consistent effort. Okay, to share two trauma specialists today. One is I put above here as an overlay, you'll see Dr. Ingrid Clayton, PhD. She is a psychologist and an author, and she wrote a book called Believing Me. And the way I found her was through Dr. Ramani has a podcast where she interviews people that have been through trauma and tell their stories. And when I listened to hers, I was like, it was very Very compelling, very interesting. And I have not ordered her book yet, but I have it in my Amazon cart. It's called Believing Me by Dr. Ingrid Clayton. And here's a quote that she has on the website regarding in the book, or it says, "Why don't you come sit on my lap so you don't have to crank your neck?" And it goes on to say, "I didn't have bruises. She never left him. He didn't actually rape me. Maybe I wasn't worth believing. Maybe it wasn't that bad." And then it says, "What if emotional abuse is so hidden it affects remain unchallenged for decades, masquerading as personal failings?" And it explains here that the title of the book, Believe in Me, is an emotionally gripping memoir that gives language to the hidden and ineffable nature of childhood trauma and how it can imprint on a person, resulting in fractured self esteem, addictions, perfectionism, and string of abusive relationships. Ingrid Clayton had been in the pursuit of healing for a lifetime, including becoming a clinical psychologist and trauma therapist. But she never fully understood what she was healing from. Growing up in a fog of gaslighting made her question her reality. It wasn't until she heard Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, The Body That Keeps the Score, share a case study so similar to her life that a seed was planted. Quote unquote, trauma might be a word that was personal to her. When her stepfather died, Ingrid felt a calling to write her story, and these were the truths reflected on the page. By recounting vivid childhood memories, she wrote her way through patterns of lies and denial that had inflicted her entire family. She came to face the feelings she had minimized for so long. By reclaiming her story, Ingrid transcended the role of healer into someone becoming healed, showing us what real healing looks like in the process. And here are some things. It says what people are saying. Ingrid's book is a lyrical and deeply authentic memoir of trauma, complex post trauma, and narcissistic abuse. She provides that rarest of things, a realistic glimpse into the evolution of healing in a survivor, and humanizes a painful journey that has too often been simplified. Her story is compelling and she shares it with compassion, vulnerability, and honesty. This book should be required reading for anyone who wants to learn about complex trauma, narcissistic family systems, and the landscape of healing from trauma. All survivors will see a part of themselves in Ingrid's story. And that was said by Dr. Ramani Durvasala, one of my favorite doctors. Clinical psychologist and professor emerita of psychology, founder and CEO of Luna Education Training and Consulting. And then it shows Dr. Ramani's review of Believing Me that you can see on YouTube. Okay, there are so many more when you start to look at it when you've gone through trauma or any type of heartache in your life, and you start to look through it and research, you'll find someone that will fit your personality, someone that speaks the same language as you. We're all human, and everybody does not resonate with us. But you will find someone that resonates with your spirit, your way of thinking, your way of liking the way they speak. So this next one is someone at work told me they found someone that was interesting to them, and they gave me the name, and I am so happy they gave me the name because I've never heard of this person before until She shared this with me at work, and I'm so grateful for it. Her name is Dr. Anita Phillips. And let's see if I can find her about. Um, Dr. Anita Phillips is a trauma therapist, life coach, and minister. So she teaches through ministry. Her Christian values and ways of her bringing up has always been within the church. So that's the way she teaches. Although she is a doctor, a trauma specialist. She is widely recognized as a thought leader in the intersection of mental health, faith, and culture. Dr. Anita holds degrees from the University of Maryland and Regent University and completed a postdoctoral fellowship at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. She is a dynamic speaker and podcast host who adores her family and friends. A good print of ice, a good pint of ice cream, and sitting by the ocean. She has a book out, as you see up top. I put it up top. Uh, the Garden Within. It says emotions are not your enemy. Internal war is not your destiny. Whoa. You were created to flourish. And she has a podcast, Women Evolve Network, presents nationally acclaimed trauma therapist and the life coach, Dr. Anita Phillips. Listen along as she talks to special guests and everyday callers about thriving in love, life, and relationships. If you're brave enough to stand in the light, Dr. Anita is here to help you evolve into the best version of yourself. And it says, are you ready? So that's it for today. Peace.